Growl, you've come to the right channel. Snow covers the ground, winds whispering to the trees, down stand in my way. We are the bringer of pain. Hello and welcome to my second Growl tutorial video. I didn't think I would make the first one, and sure not the second one either, but here we are. I just want to take the opportunity to thank you guys so much for the awesome comments and great feedback I got from the first one. It was a small Growl tutorial video. I'll leave a link in the description below. Thank you so much, guys. And I thought I would go over a few comments and share some answers with you guys. So if you don't want to hear the answers, you can skip right to the do's and don'ts. I will make sure to mark it on the timeline, but I suggest that you check out the questions and answers here. Well, without any further ado, let's dig into it. Thomas writes, "Thanks for a great introduction, but even after weeks of trying, I have slight pains in my throat. What's your experience? Is it normal at first, or is it my approach to the technique wrong?" Right, thanks for the question, Thomas. First question I would ask is it pain or is it just soreness? Because you should not feel any pain at all. Pain is an indication that you're doing something wrong. But you have muscles in your throat as well, and they act like any other muscles. So, I mean, if you have been practicing for hours, you will feel a bit sore. Or if you have done a very hard gig, you will feel soreness. But if you feel pain, you should definitely stop and recover and think about what you are doing wrong. More on this later. Moving on to the second one. Hi Fant writes, best explanation this far, thank you. Very on point. Does it hurt your throat in the long run? Thank you. Thank you for that. No, it does not hurt the throat in the long run. Not from my experience so far. I've only been doing this for, 5-6 years, something like that. Recorded 2 full-length albums, done a bunch of shows. So from my experience, no. If you use the proper technique and you pay attention to your body and you make sure to never feel pain, always try to be relaxed, then no, I haven't felt anything so far, and it's been going great, and my voice has stayed the same, I would think. So yeah, it does not hurt in the long run. We will see in 20 years. Anyway, moving on. Cranberry 7783. But how do you make it sound so deep? When I do it, it just sounds... it is just my normal voice with heavy distortion. How do you make it sound guttural? Well, my friend, I have no great answer to that. The only thing I can say is that we all sound different. Some people have naturally low voices and some have high voices. And there are techniques to make it sound more guttural, I think, regardless of if you have a high or low voice. But for me, I am in the guttural spectra, and that's how I started growling, and that's what I do. I just normally have this guttural thing going on. The best explanation I can give you is that I'm very relaxed in my jaw and throat, and an open throat. I don't really go up on my cheekbones or anything like that. I just try to be as relaxed as possible and drive it from my stomach, like Hey, 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 ha, and an open throat. Not sure if that's the best answer, but I hope it was a good answer. Let's move on. Packeted88, great username, asks, is it louder than a normal conversational voice? How much? Well, yes and no. To be able to get your growl out, you should not really have to increase your volume that much. You should be able to go from talking kind of voice to a more growl kind of false chord thing going on. So, I mean, I don't increase the volume that much at all. I just distort my voice, and it's basically, I don't know how to tell you, the volume does not increase much. But if I am recording or singing live, I try to use my gut to push it for getting that extra compression. So I could record, hey man, how's it going? But if I add some more stomach to it, hey, I get that deeper, and it's a bit louder, but it still is like, I don't know. I don't think it's as loud as people imagine it to be. You would only notice if you're in the same room. I think it sounds louder when you're watching like live performances or people recording in the studio, but it's not that loud. Moving on. Number 5, Michael Bain. This hurts your voice without warming up, you well, I didn't think about responding to that comment at first, but I realized that many people think that you have to warm up. And if you don't warm up, you will screw your voice up. And that's completely false, if you ask me. Because if you use the wrong technique, you will mess up your voice anyhow. You don't have to warm up to be able to be relaxed and go to a growl. I haven't warmed up at all, and I can do it because I'm relaxed. So warming up is great, don't get me wrong. It will make your voice sound better for sure. But if you're using bad technique, it doesn't matter if you warm up or not. You will screw your voice up regardless. So let's dig into the do's and don'ts. Here are a few of the most important do's and don'ts that I have found through the years of doing this. Okay, number 1, don't overcompensate by trying to sing louder when you don't hear yourself. This is the most important one, because if you do this, you can seriously mess up your voice, and you can lose your voice, and that's not good at all. So if you're pushing your volume up, and you will automatically start using the wrong technique. Imagine standing in a crowd at a concert, and you're trying to yell at your friend like, hey man, this song is great! I think we've all experienced that at some point, that we lost our voice the day after, and it's because you are pushing the volume and you're straining your throat, and that makes you lose your voice, and it's really bad because you don't have proper support. So I have done this a lot when I was recording at first. I didn't hear myself very well, and even though I thought I had the right technique, after 20 minutes, half an hour, I start noticing that I'm starting to feel a bit sore in my throat, and it's because I didn't hear myself that well. So I try to overcompensate without thinking about it, trying to sing louder, which is not something you should do. You should be as relaxed as possible and try to growl with at least effort you can. so it sounds good, and you can do it for a long time. It goes for recording, it goes for singing live, and everything else. When it comes to singing live, I experienced in the beginning that I was overcompensating because you almost never hear yourself when you're standing on stage. That's just a fact. Unless you have really good in-ear, or you're playing at a great place with great monitors, but that's almost never the case. So you overcompensate and you find yourself mid-set, getting sore, and your voice is turning to shit. So that is a common thing. So how do you battle that? From my experience, the last shows I've done, I have realized that when I don't hear myself, I just try to think of, well, how does it feel when I'm recording at home, or when I hear myself well? Like, try to get the feeling of how much you should push from your stomach, and how your throat should feel in normal circumstances, and try to not think about that you aren't hearing yourself. Try to remember the feeling of how much you are pushing. It's really hard because you have so much adrenaline on stage, so it's easy to overcompensate, but that's what I found works best. Like, try to remember the feeling and how much you should push. So yeah, that's a big one. Moving on. Hydrate before you are going to sing. Might seem like a natural thing to do, but many people don't do it, including myself. I mean, it's the same principle as going to the gym or for a long run. You should drink water or hydrate before you work out, right? Because you can't start working out or running if your muscles are dehydrated. The same thing goes for your throat and your core. I mean, it's all muscles, and you should treat them like muscles, because otherwise you will feel that the energy just disappears and you start straining, and that's when you start messing up your technique, and you start feeling pain, and it's just bad. So hydrate before. I don't know, say 20 minutes before, and it doesn't really matter with what, just water, coffee, whatever. And also during, if you are like really having a long session, then hydrate during also. It's a big a myth when it comes to what you should drink and not. I might make a separate video on that, because it's just ridiculous what how many of these myths there are, like don't drink coffee. I don't know. Anyway, hydrate before. It's good for you. Moving on. Don't try to sound like someone else. Might seem obvious, but not for me when I started. I think we all sound different, and that's just a fact. You should try to explore your voice. Don't get me wrong. You should try to explore your voice as much as possible without feeling pain. But don't ever try to think that you want to sound like David Vincent in Morbid Angel or Danny Filth, and that's your goal, and then you need to really sound like them. You should try to find your own voice, and what I mean by that, well, where do you sound most relaxed? For me, I sound most relaxed in this voice, in this state. So that works for me. You maybe are more relaxed like Danny Filth, or doing black metal screams. That's relaxed for you. So, and it's also that you sound most authentic when you do a voice where you are relaxed. If you start straining your voice, you'll screw it up, and you will also not sound good. So that's a important thing, I would say. Don't continue to sing if you feel pain. Also might seem pretty obvious, but a lot of people think that you need to push through the pain, and that pain is normal in the beginning. It's not good at all. You should not push through the pain, and if you feel pain you should stop, because it's an indication that you are using the wrong technique, that you are not relaxed or pushing way too much, or like the other case, that you're not hearing yourself, so you're overcompensating. So it's a big no-no. If you feel pain, then you need to find out what's causing it. So I wouldn't suggest ever continuing to sing if you feel pain, because if you mess up your voice, you only do that one time, and then you have messed up your voice forever, basically. So yeah, don't ever continue to sing if you feel pain. Which leads us to number 5. Use proper technique. Well, that's easy to say, but I made a video on this where I try to explain what proper technique, in my opinion, is, without using any technical terms or any like nonsense, like use your diaphragm, don't do this, don't do that. So I would strongly advise check out the video in the link below. If you guys want a more detailed video on this, let me know, and I will try to make something that sounds more comprehensible, I think. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave comments below what you thought about this video, or you have any questions, and I will try to answer them in the next video. So thanks guys, and see you soon.